This video today, we're going to be assessing the situation I got going on right here with my CB. So Cobra sent me this to plug into your power outlet here, but the only problem is, and I'm sure everybody has the same problem when they use that. So if I forgot to record this clip, the whole reason why I was changing that from the power outlet to hardwired into the battery is because, and I'm sure a lot of people have had this problem with the power outlet. What happens is when you press down on the gas and you have your CB turned on, for some reason it sends a frequency back to the CB when you're pressing down on the gas, and it just goes the whole time that your CB is on. That's why I'm hardwiring it straight to the battery, because I use it all the time when I'm going down the road, and that was sort of an issue whenever I was having to deal with that. So forgot to put the clip in, but you know, here you go. What we're going to be doing is taking and running wire from that connector to the negative and the positive on the battery. It shouldn't take us too terribly wrong. This is the factory OEM connector that they send you as well. This plugs into the back, and then you've got your two bits of wire. I've got some spare red and black wire laying around that I haven't been using. Here's what I'm going to be using. I've got these strippers and these strippers. This is the wire. This is 12 gauge wire, and this is 20 gauge. This is a whole lot bigger, but I'm going to use these quick solder connections and a heat gun to connect all that. And then to the battery, I'm going to put something on these posts right here. I've got some fittings that'll go on there. So basically what I'm going to end up going with is putting it through where the hood latch puller is. I'll just put a little bit extra on there. Our electrical tape's cheap anyway. Came from Harbor Freight. I think that's really good and sticky, but you know, it's whatever. H-rate make your electrical tape a bit stickier. All right, so I found a different spot. You can see where my pliers are poking out. I think we're gonna go run it through that small hole there, because on the outside, you can see how those pliers are poking out behind this grommet piece. So we're gonna run it through that little hole that's right there, a little hole, and then run it straight back. I'm sure the angle is probably bad for y'all, but stay. Is this end plugs up like this. All right. Then what I'm gonna do, if that falls one more time, so then we're gonna put this cover piece back there with the fuse behind it. It's kind of a bad spot to put that. And then the only thing that holds this panel on there is two Phillips head screwdrivers, or screws, not screwdriver. What the frick am I talking about? But you know what? I'm just gonna let it ride. There it goes. I just wasn't putting that oomph on there, man. It's about hotter than you know what out here. It's really not that bad when the wind is blowing, but when the wind is not blowing, it's incredibly worse. All right, so I'm gonna run it through that like so. Run it back up and tie wrap it around those harnesses, and you know, hope for the best. Sort of kind of ran where I want it to, so we're going to put these zip ties around where I want it at. You can kind of probably see where I'm putting it at. I'm putting it on a already existing harness, and then I'm gonna put one around that existing harness as well. Trick I learned with zip ties. Now, sometimes you don't want to have zip ties too tight and it start cutting into stuff, but if you take you a pair of flush cuts like so and put the zip tie in that you're going to cut, and you do like this number here, you take this in and you pull and twist, you'll get the zip tie as tight as it'll go around something. And then at the very end where you feel it's not pulling anymore, you just take your flush cuts. Oh, these ones are getting a little dull. And just cut that loose end off. You don't want to burn into the wire though. That's what a lot of people do with lighters. With these, they'll burn into the wire. So I just took this wire brush, cleaned up all of our points that we're going to be connecting to, like that. For a positive, for a negative. Okay, that's way too much there, son. Way too much. So we make handy dandy cutters for. Love the sound of copper hitting up against the truck. So, tied it up, wire as best I could. Kind of don't like how this one's sitting, but there's really no other way that I can get that to work. Let's see if this rig is gonna work. Let's see, moment of truth. Gunman could be an electrician.